Welcome to the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage, where rude mechanicals do magic. Hello, I'm Bronze Age, Director of the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage. And today we have a very unusual arc glass lamp which needs to be rewired, and it's going to require some special tricks, I'm pretty sure. What's unusual about it is it was probably never intended to be a lamp, more likely a tall, skinny vase, but it doesn't have a pipe or a hole in the bottom of it. The cord goes in through the side here and comes up to where the socket is, and I don't think this is original, even though it is definitely pre-1970 or so. But if we look at it a little closer, now it's definitely been rewired since the original, but whoever did it last time used a shell that was intended for a push-through socket. And that left this silver wire right here exposed, the silver screw. And since the cord's not polarized, it could be plugged in either way, and that could leave that terminal right there what they call hot. And if you manage to stick your finger through there, you could get a pretty bad shock. Okay, now we find out just how much work this is going to be. Another amateur trait here, wired directly in without the underwriter's knot. More about that a little bit later. And we have a twisted cord. Sure sign that it's come loose in the past, and somebody straightened that out just by turning it back around. Now the trick here is to get our new cable cord from here to here without losing it on the inside. Now I'm using this blue tape, not because it's especially sticky, but because it's very thin. And I want to keep this as small as I can so it doesn't catch on that pipe up in the top of the lamp. And it's not very strong, so what I have to concentrate on is pushing the wire as much as I pull it. Oh, I love success on the first shot. Now the customer has requested the nickel-plated hardware, which will leave us with a little mix of brass and silver, but that's no big deal. And to keep all of this from coming loose and ended up with that twisted cord like we saw before, I always apply some of the blue thread locker. And that will keep everything intact. And keep it from coming loose in use. the socket we're using is also nickel plated. And the type of sockets we use in the lab are these with the base, which screws on with the ring. Slightly heavier hardware, and it works out really well. And with the screw in the neck here, I can position it anywhere I want to, which in this case means laying the front where the key is, opposite where the wire comes out the back. Now this next step protects all our friends and family from electrical shock. This is called the underwriter's knot. Little pretzel looking knot like that, just in case if somebody walking through the room trips over the cord, yanks it, it could actually pull hard enough to pull out from underneath the screws. In that case, if this was a regular ordinary kind of lamp with a steel pipe down the middle of it, you'd have these two bare wires rolling down a piece of metal. And of course, you go to pick it back up, you get shocked or electrocuted, which neither one is a pleasant experience. So this is a very important part, and when you take apart a lamp you don't see that, that's a sure sign of truly amateur work. Now, the second thing is that every socket made in North America for North American uses has got two different color screws. One is brass colored, sometimes copper colored, and the other is silver colored. And that is a very important distinction. On your lamp cord, like this, every one of them is going to have a smooth side and a side with ridges. You run your finger across it, you can feel it. The smooth side always goes to the brass wire. Get it around there, curl it, and then tighten it down. And you want this wire to come down straight like that. The ridge side always goes to the silver wire. And again, you pull the wire straight down off the screw before you tighten it down. Like that. Now, the reason for this is fairly straightforward. A North American plug on a lamp cord has one wide terminal, one narrow terminal, and it can only be plugged in one way into the receptacle. And this is what we call polarized, because this wire with the ridge on it that goes to the brass screw goes to the center terminal. That's the wire that is referred to as hot. Don't let that confuse you. They're both very hot. But this is the one that goes back to the breaker in the wall back in the basement or the attic or wherever it's kept at. But this is the one where the current starts. And the reason we do it this way is because of the rather unlikely opportunity that there would be a lamp with no bulb in the socket, and someone were to reach up in here and go to turn it on and accidentally stick their finger. If they touch the shell and the shell were wired to the hot wire, you get shocked again. As it is now, you have to have the switch on and push your finger all the way to the bottom to get shocked. Not quite as likely. I'm not sure what the real difference is between the shell and the thing, but in terms of odds of getting shocked. But you know, that is the code, that is the created to keep us safe, and it's always a very good idea to follow rules made to keep us safe. Now that we've got it wired compliant to the National Electrical Code, push this underwriter's knot up in there nice and tight, and it'll walk right up the cable. And we pull this, turn it around, get our terminal pointed towards the front, our key, me pull the shell down. Now this type of socket, there's a notch here in the back and a dimple right there in the threads. And you don't want to get those out of alignment because these shells are rather thin and they will split if you put them in a bind. Otherwise, they're quite robust and strong. Plug it in. This is Bronze Age with Secret Underground Laboratory. Thank you for sticking around to watch us redo this very beautiful arc glass lamp. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I would appreciate it very much.